Hey, this is John Shea, and you're listening to the Out of the Rat Race podcast, a fun educational podcast brought to you by LIREA. LIREA is a real estate networking organization comprised of top quality rated leaders in the professional world of real estate investing. LIREA offers education, funding services tailored to fit real estate investors' needs, access to professionals, and a mentorship program with a proven industry track record of success. So sit back, relax, and get ready to hear the lessons, stories, and opportunities we provide that have helped and continue to help people just like you get out of the rat race and find financial independence through real estate investing. All right, I know it's been a while since we spoke last, but I'm happy to announce that we are back. We have so many new exciting things to share with you, as well as some new kick-ass people to introduce. Starting with Anthony Camardella and Matthew Rivera, just to name a few and give you a taste. As I've told you in the past, real estate is an ever-changing market full of different opportunities and strategies. And just like real estate, we like to keep things exciting by changing with it. So today, Melissa and I wanted to share some of the new things that LIREA has been doing. However, I want to talk about the workshop that's coming up. It's the Inspection for Investors Workshop. I repeat, the Inspection for... Don't laugh. I'm trying to do this. The Inspection for Investors Workshops. Right off the bat, let me tell you that it's being led by Matthew Rivera, who is one of the new exciting members of the Long Island RIA team, who, in my opinion, is one of the leaders in the home inspection industry. I'll be at the event for questions if you guys have any for me. I'm not going to talk about my journey and why I know that I'm qualified unless I get some emails from you guys through the website or some calls asking about it. But I want to do a little role playing. I'm going to start, and Melissa's just looking at me right now. I'm going to start by saying that this story is completely untrue. This is for dramatic effect and just kind of to give you an example of how my mind works. Melissa, is that fair?
That's totally fair because I'm playing a character.
And welcome back.
Sounds like a dippy blonde. Yes, welcome back, everybody.
Okay. Well, you can be a dippy brunette if you want.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, so the purpose of this good story, I'm going to put quotes in front of good.
Okay.
I need you to play the role of Becca.
Becca?
Becca, a partner of mine who has been with me for 6 months and feels like she found a diamond in the rough, not just with me, but possibly with a house. Got it?
Got it.
All right. So you're going to start. So I actually just handed you a piece of paper with a couple lines on it, and go ahead.
Well, just so you know, I'm coming in cold on this one.
Stop acting like a blonde.
Okay, well,
just read the script. It's
I'm
pretty.
Becca.
I gave you the sentences. There we go.
All right. So, John, I just came across this house, and it needs a lot of work, but it has a brand new kitchen. And I saw it a couple of weeks ago, and it didn't have it there. So I'm thinking it's at the same price. It was on the market for 2 months, but it really has no interest. There's been no offers made on it. I think we can find a really good deal here because now the rehab is so much less because we don't have to do a kitchen. Wouldn't this give us a better ROI, return on investment?
So you see how those are numbered, right? You're just supposed to say 1 sentence at a time.
You said dippy blonde. I went for dippy blonde.
Yeah. All right. I do like how you added to it, but let's just go with sentence number 1 if we can. So go ahead. Start over. We're not gonna delete this because that's amusing enough. Go ahead.
Okay.
Because right now you're the ditzy blonde because you couldn't follow a simple instruction. So please.
All right. So I'm Becca, right? Okay.
You're Becca.
So
my
John,
future ex-wife.
Yeah.
Come on.
So, John, I just came across this house. It needs a lot of work, but it has a brand new kitchen.
All right. When was the kitchen done?
Well, it was done about 3 weeks ago, and the house has been on the market for 2 months, but it didn't have any interest.
There's more to it.
Do I get to pause or do I go
No, there's no pause. You got to continue reading the sentence.
So they replaced the kitchen, and I saw the listing before, but now that it has this brand new kitchen, wouldn't it give us a higher ROI? Because now we don't have to do the rehab, and it's so much less expensive.
My wife, the ditzy blonde. She said, you have me playing the part of ditzy blonde, and then, Well, all right.
But
So anyway,
Burnett.
right away, my guard is up on this. I'm not
Right.
excited, and my judgment on repairs has been completely diluted. Why? Don't answer.
Okay.
All right. If you guys need to like pause this podcast, think about it, write down your thoughts. I'm going to give you like 3 seconds. Why
3 seconds to write down
has that
answers?
short conversation put my mind in a tailspin?
I know why.
That was 3 seconds. I had to wait until you were done talking.
Okay.
All right. I now need to make the house match the kitchen. Wood floors, I need to contrast the color. Ceiling fan color and contrast to match the color of the hardware for like the handles and the hinges and stuff like that. If the rest of the house is destroyed and they replace the kitchen as a last ditch effort to sell, I'll put my money on the fact that they did not clean the bug guts from the walls. They didn't fix any plumbing, any electric in the walls. Half of the screws probably are not even in the studs. I need to take that whole damn kitchen out. It did not save money. It just made me more money.
Maybe more money or maybe cost more money?
It costs more money. You're right. Now I'm the ditzy blonde, right? Sorry for all you
I was
blondes.
just
I'm
gonna
really
say,
sorry
are we
for all you
insulting
blondes
all
out there. I wish I was blonde, actually. And because I'm trying to figure out how to make the rest of the house match the kitchen, I'm not paying attention to the regular stuff that I would, because now I'm going through the house. I'm going into each bedroom thinking, I got to match this floor color. The walls are going to be completely off because now the hallway walls that lead to the kitchen, like my mind goes a mile a minute with this stuff. And to me, there was no savings on that house whatsoever. It just took away from my ability to be able to investigate the house. So me as an inspector, I'm going to use quote inspector. Matt's actually certified to do this stuff. I am not. I learned everything from YouTube University and from doing several rehabs myself. Which is the same amount of cost as actually going to school, because the mistakes that you learn to avoid in school, you definitely learn when you do it without education, which is why we're big on education here at LI RIA. When you come here, we've been through it, whether it be through schooling, whether it be through the School of Hard Knocks, which I could actually say.
That's where most of our lessons come from on this stuff, and why the inspection class is so important, because people can easily think these things. Like you said, John, like anybody would say, oh, brand new kitchen, but they knew if it was a last ditch effort, 9 times out of 10, they didn't do the sheetrock right. You're going to have problems with the inspection when the inspector comes through. So this is a good topic that you're bringing up for the first time.
Well, for the first time. This is a good topic that I'm bringing up.
For the first episode back.
Doing several rehabs in the past, I actually made friends with people that owned granite companies and kitchen cabinet companies. And I said I wasn't going to do this unless you guys asked, and there's a hell of a lot more to it, but I'll start with just this. So I met several different people in the cabinet industry and became a certified distributor for the cabinets. They thought I had a showroom. We ended up having to do it when they caught on, but I had the catalogs, I had the pricing sheets, and I was saving our investors a ton of money. And I actually did YouTube University to learn how to design kitchens so that they made flow work, basic color schemes, and functionality.
I see that all the time when people do new kitchens. They don't do it where it's functionable.
All that happy stuff.
Right.
That's the stuff that I picked up along the ways, and I saved investors a lot of money. The problem is that I also learned a lot from some investors and some happy homeowners trying to sell, where they would say, hey, look, my house isn't selling. Do me a favor. I want the best possible kitchen at the cheapest price. Okay, well, there's actually wallpaper on the wall and you have a leak behind the wall. Just put the kitchen up there. I need the house to sell. I don't care about that. I'm not paying for anything extra. So I need the kitchen to last for the sale of the house. Right then and there,
It wasn't
I
put
lost
in right.
interest
Yeah.
in doing it because in me doing that, I actually take pride in my work. I actually want to put out a good product. So even just telling me, even if I believe it to be true, that those cabinets are great cabinets, I'm still going to take them down. I'm still going to do the work behind the wall, and I am not going to lower my construction budget on it. These are things that you guys need to know. If you're going in there thinking that you're buying a sloppy jalopy, you need to know you're buying a sloppy jalopy. Don't think that an air freshener is going to cover up the smell of shit forever. It's going to come true. It's probably going to come true on the first inspection before closing. What, the closing inspection?
Yeah, sometimes it does because
Phone's ringing in the back, and we're not stopping this. Sorry, I forgot to mute my my office phone.
Because the inspectors are going to check that, right? So if there's leaks behind it, it usually manifests itself, especially if there's a basement and the kitchen's leaking. It'll drip into the basement. There'll be signs that they cut corners, and that's often what investors get the bad rep for, is that they cut too many corners to the point where it's not a good product that's being put out, right? So, and there's definite ways to save money on construction. That there's no doubt about that. And that's why it's really important, the inspection class. You need to know what really needs to be repaired and what doesn't, I like your saying about it's all the, how did you say it? All the thing. Why you don't buy houses? You go in for looking for every reason why not to buy a house.
So there's a yin and a yang, right? If there is some good stuff, there's probably just as much bad stuff. The good stuff is covering up and blinding you from the bad stuff. And that's the way it is. And so when I think
you're going way too deep with that. Honestly, I think what you say on why you look at for reasons why not to do it is because I love the expression you like being lazy in the sense
wasn't going to get into it, but here we go. So I have done, I'm not even going to count the number to it, a number of rehabs, and I did them all. I'm a perfectionist, so anytime there was something even small like trim, if I saw a flaw, I would spend an hour and a half fixing it. And then even though it was fixed, when Melissa or anybody else came, I'd be like, look at that wall. Do you see anything? Like, I'd point it out. Like, it destroyed me. Because I don't want to put out something bad. I only want the stuff that I put out to be good, which is contradictory to me saying, hey, the phone's ringing in the background. That's staying in and the dog's barking and I don't give a shit. But the fact of the matter is I think Bill Gates said, hire lazy people, because lazy people will find the fastest way to get out of doing it or to fix the problem. In a relationship, whether it be business, marital, or anything like that, it's good to have a yin and yang. Somebody that looks at only the positive and then somebody that looks at only the negative. And it seems to work. So maybe when people are throwing dollar signs and send signs at you and just pointing out the good stuff, say, okay, so what is this distracting me from the actual cost and the can of worms that are going to be opened when I take that cast iron tub out of the third floor of this unit, trying to squeeze it through an 18-inch pocket door, which they don't see it as a bathroom door should be 24 inches. They see, ooh, a pocket door. Doesn't matter if it's 18 inches. Doesn't matter what size it is. It's a pocket door. Beautiful. People love pocket doors. Yeah. Well, there's a 350-pound tub in there that I got to take that pocket door out of the wall to get the tub out, carry it down 3 flights of stairs, and then pay to dispose of it. So I look at it from negative eyes, which is probably not the right way to do it, but I got to tell you, it's been pretty damn successful for me. So if you do ask me to go with you to a property, just keep in mind that
he will tell you
I
everything
will
that's wrong
point
with
out
that
everything.
house.
You have to understand, I am never going to look for the positive in it. My job in my head is to only find the things that people do not see. It won't be good things. It'll only be bad. Because I get
Mr.
off.
Negativity.
I get off on finding the wrong. That's what I do, and knowing what it takes to make it right.
So I would venture to say there needs to be a balance with that, because what happens is too many people think of just all the negatives and then won't do any deals.
You're the yin to my yang.
Yeah, here's the positivity coming through now. So here's the reality, right? You got to have a balance in that, because you could be so optimistic you get into every deal like this, where this scenario is that just because it looks pretty, you're right, behind the walls, and it could have been done right, could have been, but you really got to do a little bit more investigating on it. And oftentimes we see if they do it as a last ditch effort to try to force a sale, typically that doesn't work well. So, and it does upset the whole house. If you've got, a very old, outdated house and you have one kitchen brand new, it doesn't.
We're using sloppy jalopy for this podcast.
Well, here's the thing: a sloppy jalopy.
Sloppy jalopy.
Yeah, the thing is, you have to go in with a positive attitude, in some respect, that you don't shoot down every deal, right? Because then you'll never do any deal. So what I come across is students that I've got to politely push and even help them overcome some of the negativity, because there's so much equity and so much of an upswing. It was really nice at the banquet. Christy was telling her story.
So just because you guys don't know, we actually had a new event, which Melissa's jumping ahead.
But
because we didn't talk about changes yet. But we had a banquet.
I was just referencing to
said,
what
yeah, I know,
Christy
you
said at the banquet.
The banquet. Nobody knows what the banquet is unless they were at the banquet.
Okay, back to Christy. So Christy, with her, I knew her type of personality. She needed to be pleasantly pushed into it, because I knew she could handle the renovation. And there were a lot of things wrong with the property physically, but were fixable. And the upswing for her was so much in equity and cash flow that had she not done that deal, she would have missed out on a great opportunity. So going back to the beginning is, yes, go through it with the eyes of realizing everything that's actually wrong, having a more realistic approach, but don't let that stop you on every deal. It shouldn't make you do every deal. But use a little bit of balance on that, because if you aren't optimistic, you can look at every deal and not use that as an excuse not to do deals, is my point.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. And see, I look at everything negative and you look at everything positive. Mm-hmm. However, Anthony Camardella and Matthew Rivera both see things as a yin and yang. They analyze both aspects of what's going on with the property, which is why I really encourage you guys. I'm not going to speak about it after this. We're going to move on, because we were already almost 20 minutes into this podcast. I really think you guys owe it to yourselves to sign up for this workshop. And unfortunately, I'm coming in a little late. We only got like a week to respond to it. I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that we have XYZ tickets available. I don't know how many tickets we have available. I know that we're only hosting 20?
Yeah, we keep them small because we actually take you to the properties, right? You can't learn about this sitting in a classroom. So the best part is going out in the field, and then the best part is also estimating. If you're having trouble figuring out what the costs are, at least, there's 4 of us there that can give you the education or the knowledge on what needs to be done and the expertise behind it, right? So, and
you
what
have
the cost is.
You have the inherent good, the bad, and you have 2 even keeled.
I don't know if actually Anthony's working this event, but either way,
I'm sure he'll be there. But anyway, that's it. If you guys want to learn more, which I really hope you do, you guys need to sign up for this inspection event. We're going to teach. We're going to answer your questions with complete honesty. If you're interested, go to outoftheratracepodcast.com and click the event banner. It should be scrolling right at the top. Use the promotion code RAT. I wanted to use cheese, but I don't know. RAT, R-A-T, Rat Race. I thought cheese would be good, but RAT, I guess RAT works better. And I save, I think, like 10% off of the event.
You realize people are going to put in cheese as the discount because you said that, right? It's rat.
Cheddar. Just put in RAT, R-A-T. Promo code RAT.
And you save 10%.
And you save 10% off of the event. And I really hope to see you there. I'm willing to answer any questions you guys have, but you really do need to listen to Matthew Rivera and his teaching. And now back to Melissa. Tell us what we've been up to and what's changed.
Yeah, so we took a year off. Don't know if you guys knew, but our business partner, Rena Mitchell, had passed away last year. So we took some time to grieve on that. It's been a hard adjustment without her here. She headed up our non-for-profit side as well as our homeless shelters, and she did provide a lot of infrastructure, and she was my balance on some of those things. So I'm very grateful that we came across and met Anthony Camardella, and he actually enjoys teaching. We teach together, and we have the same philosophy on educating people for financial independence through real estate. He has a different experience. He's coming from the agent side, 17 years in the industry, but he comes from building systems and processes and also lead generation. So that works really great for those that want to learn wholesaling, works really great for lead flow. And so he's working with us on that capacity. So he came in as our now COO. He's our Chief Operating Officer. And it's been a real pleasure. He's really taking down each of the different individual businesses, breaking them down. So by 2025, we're going to have a new RIA. We're going to have different meetings that are going to be, instead of the one location in Melville, we will have it sporadically. So we'll have it in Nassau counties, 5 in Nassau County, 5 in Suffolk County. So I'm really looking forward to that. We will also have an annual banquet like we had this past week. The banquet is an appreciation dinner where we get like-minded people into the room together, celebrate successes, and talk about new deals. It's also a way to thank our private investors who have invested with us over the years and continue to do so. On the acquisition side...
We have food at those events, too.
Yeah. I think this time we had alcohol, too, so that made it a lot more fun, right? This one here is... with the, what was I just talking about? Acquisition side, right. Acquisition side. So we've for a long time, the company's been involved in the single 1 to 4 family units, but now we're getting into the apartment complexes. So we're taking down 6 apartment complexes probably by the end of this month, 556 units. So these are giving you more opportunities to invest in not just single family homes, but apartment complexes. John and I have owned several of them in the past, and we feel like the time is right to get back into that. So there's that. We have new staff members coming on, and real masterminds. Anthony and I will be teaching live start 2025. We're going to go back to a spring semester and a fall semester class. So we really miss teaching students live, so at least I really do. So I want to go back to doing that as well.
Yeah, you guys are going to see a lot of these changes actually transpire in 2025. There's still some stuff up in the air right now.
The membership has changed. So just to let you know, the membership is now $297 for the year, but it now includes all the workshops of the year. And so we're going to have 6 workshops throughout the year as well. So that's a big change too.
And there is a lot more. So I need you guys to, stay current and listening to the podcast, show up to the events, and find out everything that we're pushing out come 2025. And actually some of the stuff is being pushed out before. We're
pushed out, rolled out. Sounds better. You know what? This is all to enhance your experience of learning how to do this. The market's changing, and if you don't learn how to change with it, it's really going to be a big difference. Oh, one last thing that's really important is all past mentoring students. I wanted more time to work with the mentoring students that we've had in the past. We've had over 250 mentoring students. We're going to have the next level. So we're going to have quarterly meetings and talking about next steps and next levels for them. So that's exciting too.
Yep. We will announce that again soon with a firmer plan of action, right?
Well, the dates. Yep. We'll have the dates out.
Right. Okay. And the next podcast is probably going to be Anthony Camardella.
Yeah, I think it's a wise idea to introduce our COO to everybody.
I'm going to have Anthony on here. I'm going to pick his brain about where he's been and where he plans on going. Why is that funny?
Because he'll talk a lot more than I will.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Anyway, guys, write us through the website. I personally receive and read all the questions and comments myself. So, and if I see stuff that you guys say that is worth talking about, I will bring it up on the following podcast and give you credit towards that question. I want you to remember that you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You remember that?
Yep.
That's bullshit.
What are you going to do, drag
You
it?
can lead a horse to water once. After that, the path is made. Other animals have taken said path, and predators begin to hunt, right? And what I mean by that is we put out a lot of content, and we do some of the subjects more than once. And I don't want you guys to disregard it. Chances are new obstacles are in the way of that path, and we have found a detour. So you guys need to pay attention to all of the episodes that we put out. Don't just think, oh, I saw something on house hacking before, I don't need to listen to this one. Well, guess what? Stuff changed. You know, now there's something that can get in your way.
There's some new guideline changes that makes that a little bit more attainable too. So,
we'll talk about that in a later episode. Anyway, thanks guys for listening to us, allowing us to speak. I want to thank Bobby Patterson for helping me do the back end work on some of this podcast stuff. Melissa, thank you for being on it. All of you guys, I hope to meet you soon. And as a wise man once said, each day has enough trouble of its own. So don't worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today. Love you guys. Peace.
And I just want to say, we really missed you guys. We're back.